Guys, you're about to learn one metal riff that are inspired by two epic songs, one being Holy Wars and the other inspired by Blackened. We're going to jump right into this because I actually have this riff that you just heard. You're going to learn that. But I've got a second version of this riff coming up later. We're going to go through this one first. Then the other one, well, it's kind of next level. So you're really going to enjoy this. But what we're doing, we're incorporating, real quick, we'll jump in. We're incorporating two techniques, two very specific techniques in this. There's a certain technique in the song Blackened that we're going to start with. You heard that. And then there's that technique in Holy Wars. So we're going to integrate those both in the same riff here. By the way, if you're part of the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy, you have the tabs and the backing tracks for both riffs, both lessons, the one you just heard that we're going through right now, and then the second one that you're going to hear later in this lesson. So grab your guitar, guys. Spend some time on this lesson here. I encourage you to do that. You're going to get a lot out of this. So let's get started. Here's the core riff that we're going to start with. I'll just play it out in the open here. We're going to simplify this. So first, let's break down the first part of that riff. This is kind of two sections here, and you'll notice that first part, again, is kind of like that. It kind of mimics Blackened a little bit, which, man, is such a killer song. I'll never forget the first time I heard that. I think we were riding through the car wash, so it made the car wash extra scary, that intro. Anyway, how we simplify this is that beginning is really just a few notes. It's this right here, and I will throw the tabs up as we get further along, but this is the concept. Really simple. We've got an open E string that we're palm muting. Then we've got two notes on the A string, right? We've got frets 7 and 8 kind of going back and forth. The tricky part to riffs like this is really the timing. It's not so much the notes. I mean, you've got... That's pretty simple. I like to break things down like this because it really just simplifies everything. So now it just becomes a matter of timing. And that's kind of where we get to this piece here. What I would have you do, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw up the tabs to this part now. I'm just going to have you practice this a few times. You and I, let's play this together. Let's play it about 3 times before we move on to the next piece. Because, again, this is really just about timing. We're going to slow this down a bit. You'll notice there's a bit of just back and forth between the two strings there, between the E and A strings. That's all it is. So let's play along with this part. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you can just get this part down, just that part. Again, open, E string, we're palm muting. That's it. And you can, of course, you can fill in the other palm mutes after that. Let's go to the next part. And this is kind of where we get into the Holy Wars style of playing here. Okay, so let me play the riff through. That part right here is implementing what we love to play, and that's the gallop, that 1, 2, 3. But what we're doing here is, as we gallop, we're galloping across 3 notes, and it's kind of like a little chromatic thing, right? Now, there are only 3 parts to this, really simple parts, and we're going to go through this slowly, and of course we'll throw up the tabs as well in a second here, but we're starting out on the A string, and we're going to gallop 1, 2, 3. Remember, the gallop is down, up, down, but as we play that down, up, down, we're going to go 5, 6, 7, right, just like this. If you need to pause the video and just practice that. Okay, just play that over and over just to get that down. Feel free to do that. Now, we're going to go over to the E string, do the exact same thing. Okay, that's it. And in between those two, the two times that we do that, we're just, again, going back to that open E string palm muting. I'm not even palm muting the power chord. It's not like we're going... Okay, we're just palm muting the open string. Which means you can leave your finger position here throughout this entire riff. So let's play through that. Now this one's a little bit difficult to play slow because that gallop is a very, I call it like a quick pick. It's quick and snappy. So let's go through this a couple times as I throw up the tabs. Okay, now I've got another version of this entire riff. It's next level. You're going to love it. Before we do that, let's play through this entire thing. And I'm going to throw the tabs up here for the entire riff. Let's play through this together. We're about to take things up a level here. Get ready for this. This is just another iteration of the same riff, but we're making a few changes. Again, there's a bit more movement going on here, okay? This is kind of a next level riff here, but we are going to go through this just like we went through the first version of this riff. And I wanted to give you this version of it because what you just played is actually in my free Metal Riffs and Licks book of metal guitar. So that's included in that free download. If you don't have a copy of that, download your copy of that. There's a link in the description of this video here. But again, this was the next level version that I just wrote for this. I'm like, you know, what if we extend this? What if we expand on it, right? So here it is out in the open. I'll kind of play this a little bit slower here. We start out almost the same way. You know, you get the open E string with the 7th fret of the A string. But after we do this part, you know, we're not doing this. Instead, we're doing this. Now for the second part, very much like the first riff, right? The Megadeth-y feel that we're getting out of this, a Holy Wars-ish feel we're getting out of this, right? So what we did the first time in the first riff was we're actually going to take that same pattern, those same series of notes, but we're going to kind of reverse this thing a little bit. And again, there's a bit more finger movement. I'll throw up the tabs shortly, but let's walk through this first. So let me play through the riff in its entirety. Pretty killer riff, man. It's really fun to play, by the way. But again, I don't want to overcomplicate this. It's really not that complicated. We're playing really the same notes, right? We're just mixing things up a little bit. That's all we're doing. And instead of going, you know, from low to high, we're reversing that pattern. So you're on the A string going 7, 6, 5, and then back to 6. So your gallop, the 1, 2, 3, down, up, down is, okay, and then I go back to the 6th fret there, and then we head over to the E string like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw the tabs up. I'm going to play through this a few times as well, so you can see the tablature and watch me play, and hopefully play along with this, okay? Let's play through the entire thing. Here we go. As I mentioned before, the first riff that you learned, that's actually included in my newest version of Metal Riffs and Licks, which has turned into like a full-blown metal guitar book. I mean, this is like the book of metal guitar. If you don't have your copy of that, there's a link in the description below. Download that. It's completely free, and I give this to all of my YouTube subscribers, my way of saying thank you. But in any case, guys, I just wanted to showcase this riff, this specific riff, and I wanted to give you an extra dose of metal with the second version of this riff. I actually just came up with this. I'm like, you know, I want to put this out here on YouTube. It's such a killer riff. I mean, it's combining, you know, these two techniques by two really just epic bands, guys. I mean, if you go back to these days when Megadeth and Metallica were first just releasing their first few albums, I mean, what an epic scene. Now, I don't want to sound like that old man that's like, well, I only like stuff that I listened to in high school. Look, I love a lot of newer music out there. In fact, I've been listening to Arch Enemy's latest album, Blood Dynasty, here in 2025. I've been listening to that album in the gym non-stop. That is a amazing album. I love it from like start to finish. So I don't want to be that person that's like, well, they don't make it like they used to, only the old metal rules and all this stuff like that. Look, I love a lot of the older stuff. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here, and I didn't mean to go there, but hey, we're here. In any case, though, it doesn't make these riffs that, you know, that we've been listening to, you know, if you're my age, you've been listening to for decades, it doesn't make them any less relevant, and they're still really cool. More so than the actual riffs themselves, and you know where I'm going with this because I encourage you to do this, is taking the concepts, taking the techniques, and using them for your riffs. Not necessarily, oh, I've got to play the riff just like this, or got to learn this band's riffs. Look, I'm all for that. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, what's most important is that you continue to develop your own style. You be your own guitar player, not somebody else's. And I'm not saying don't learn riffs. I want you to learn the riffs in this video. Hey, go back through this thing, listen to it. Maybe go listen to Blackened and Holy Wars and start learning some of those riffs. But I want you to quickly divert away from that. And what are you hearing? What are you feeling inside? You're feeling coolness inside when we listen to this stuff because we love metal, right? But what's in your head at that time? Because your head and your heart, I will say your heart too. Listen, music is emotional. Like it's the most emotional thing, right? So you've got something stirring within and it's wanting to take you somewhere. So listen to that. Please listen to that inside and just, you know, explore the fretboard. Play some other stuff, okay? Well, I learned this little riff here that Jason just taught me, or I went and learned a Metallica song. Where else are you wanting to go on the fretboard as you learn these? Please go there. Don't hesitate. There's no wrong or right notes in this game either. Just explore. If you play something that doesn't sound quite right, okay, well, don't play that. Try something else. If you try something else and it sounds killer, accept the fact that it sounds killer and go in that direction. Trust your ears. You know, I always talk about this. Trust your ears and give yourself the freedom to create. You are a creator. So I want you to be encouraged. So thank you again, guys, for watching the video. Of course, if you have questions, throw those in the comments below. And hey, if you don't have Metal Riffs and Licks, I'm real excited about the latest version because it is a complete metal guitar book from start to finish. It's something I've been working on for quite some time. Make sure you download the copy of that. If you already have that and you got the new copy, you got the latest copy, hey, consider jumping into the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy. This is where I give you structured everything from start to finish. Plus, you get the exclusive downloads for lessons like this, and this is what keeps you growing. You have those downloads not only for the lesson like this one here and going forward, but all the lessons that I've put out there. I think I've got everything since the beginning of 2024, so you've got like an endless amount of material in the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy. So check that out. Links are in the description below. Guys, thank you for all the support. Keep it metal and keep playing music.